The country's defense minister directing the military to plan for the total defeat of Hamas.
So this just in, courtesy of Fox News, Israel threatening to restart the war in Gaza with a complete defeat of Hamas. Let's have a look at this clip, courtesy of Fox News. Jack White here with US Daily.
All right, speaking of Israel identifying 2 more hostages released by Hamas as the terror group claims it has returned all of the dead hostages it could find. Hamas saying they now need special equipment to locate the rest of them. Israel, for its part, keeping the threat of military action on the table with the country's defense minister directing the military to plan for the total defeat of Hamas if they do not abide by the peace deal. Former State Department
Okay, if they do not abide by the peace deal. So it's a threat.
Deputy Special Envoy under President Trump, Eli Kohanim, joins me now. Eli,
I mean, it's pretty horrific when you hear comments like, we've returned all the bodies we could find. What on earth were you doing with the bodies? And, you know, do we really want to know? Because it just sounds absolutely, completely and utterly horrific.
A week it has been, and the latest appears to be that Hamas says that they have released all the bodies that they can find, and Israel is saying it is not good enough, and they're threatening military action.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be something that's a catalyst to really flare things up again.
Threatening to restart this war if Hamas does not comply with the rules of the ceasefire. So where do things go from here?
Carly, things just go up from here. I want to remind the audience that Hamas is a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization. And so we can expect that they might want to play some games in this process. However, we're in a historic moment because of President Trump's leadership. This coalition of Arab, Muslim, and Israel that he brought together, including European backing. And what we're seeing right now is not just about Gaza. It's about the future of the Middle East, a brand new Middle East, a peace for the ages, as the president has told us. Because this plan, the 20-point plan, what it does is it lays the groundwork for full normalization with Israel. And I have no doubt that the president's team is working on this right now. I want to also point out that the reason we're here is not just peace through strength, but it's peace through victory. And that comes about because of the brave U.S. military men who flew those B-52 bombers and took out Iran's nuclear program. As the president has said, taking out Iran's nuclear program, their military infrastructure, that also paved the way for us to be at the moment that we are right now, which is peace after 2 years of war and fighting.
Hold on. DJT, Mr. Trump, Mr. President, sir, said that it had been going for 5,000 years. Maybe somebody fact-checked him.
Which began under Joe Biden's feckless presidency.
It was a remarkable night over the summer.
You gotta love the language of Fox News.
Operation Midnight Hammer, and without that happening, and imagine making that decision as the commander-in-chief to go ahead and do that, not knowing if it was going to work or what was going to happen when they were flying those B-2 bombers over Iranian territory. But if not for that, where would these hostages be? But when it comes to Gaza itself, Ellie, Defense Minister Israel Katz has ordered the IDF to ready a plan to continue fighting if Hamas does not release the rest of these bodies. He says if Hamas refuses to implement the agreement, Israel, in coordination with the U.S., will return to fighting and act to achieve the complete defeat of Hamas, change the reality in Gaza, and attain all the objectives of the war. So that appears to be like there is a real possibility that this war could pick back up again.
Yeah, it sounds like quite a threat, doesn't it?
Do you anticipate that happening?
Carly, you know, it's part of the plan from the outset that Hamas must disarm. And we heard President Trump say that yesterday. Reporters asked him about what if Hamas refuses, and he said, oh, yes, they will disarm.
Yeah, it goes back to the old adage, don't tell me, show me. Right now, we're telling a lot of people the war is over. We're telling a lot of people that this has been successful, as far as Donald Trump goes anyway. But the real test will be to see if it shows. The real test will be through the actions of both parties.
And if they don't disarm willingly, we're going to, in essence, he said, we're going to disarm them. So we know that in the region, everybody knows that when President Trump speaks, he says what he means and he means what he says. And so I expect that Hamas will be forced to comply, whether it's going to happen through the pressure of Qatar, Egypt, and our other allies, Turkey in the region, who, again, the president, through just his sheer force of personality, has brought this coalition together to put the diplomatic pressure on Hamas. But if that's not going to work, the military option has always been on the table. I wouldn't look at it as a return to war. I would look at it as carrying out this plan, which has always demanded that Hamas must disarm. And again, this coalition is in agreement on one thing, which is that Hamas has no future in Gaza.
That's right. Well, there are going to be 20 families in Israel who are going to have a wonderful weekend ahead come Friday, Saturday, Sunday because of what took place.
Yeah, and I want to just point out.
Yeah, okay, so we're talking return of hostages now.
Carly, that the last remaining female hostage body in Bar-Haman was returned, and her family has issued a statement that they can finally put her to rest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part about this a lot of the time is just the not knowing, you know, and not having that closure, despite the horrific things that have happened.
There's at the Nova Music Festival.
Exactly.
We were talking about it earlier.
So much gratefulness to the president.
Ellie,
for
thank
all
you
of
for
it.
remembering her and for talking to us this morning. We appreciate it.
I'd love to know your thoughts about that in the comments section below. Please drop a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also save this video or share it with a friend. Jack White here for US Daily. Thank you so much. Courtesy Fox News there. And we'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.